and she finds the tomb empty. I'm asking, why did she go there? So we are told she went to anoint him. When she finds the tomb empty, she starts to cry. It's a disappointment. She expected to find Jesus there. So she starts to cry. She sees the empty tomb and the winding sheets inside and the stone removed. So Jesus was watching her from wherever he was, not from heaven, but from this earth. You see, this tomb was a privately owned property belonging to Joseph of Arimathea, a very rich, influential disciple of Jesus, who had carved out of a rock a big roomy chamber, which Jim Bishop, one of your authorities, describes as 5 feet wide by 7 feet high by 15 feet deep, with a ledge or ledges inside. Around this tomb was the man's vegetable garden. Now don't tell me that this Jew was so generous, he was planting vegetables 5 miles out of Jerusalem for other people's sheep and goats to graze upon. Surely he must have got his gardener's quarters, and perhaps his country home, where he went for the weekend with his family. Jesus is there. He sees this woman, he knows who she is, and he knows why she is there. So he walks up to her and he finds her crying. So he says, "Woman, why weepest thou? Whom seekest thou?" Why are you crying for? Who are you looking for? I am asking, why does he ask such a silly question? Doesn't he know who she's looking for? Doesn't he know that she's disappointed not finding him? Of course he knows. Then why is he asking such a silly question? I say it is not a silly question. He's actually pulling her leg, as the Englishman says, metaphorically, playing the fools. He's still got the sense of humor. He has been through an ordeal, according to the scriptures, but he's still got the sense of humor. So he says, "Woman, why weepest thou? Whom seekest thou?" She, supposing him to be the gardener. I said, why does she suppose he's a gardener? Do resurrected bodies look like gardeners? Do they? Then why does she suppose he's a gardener? I said, because he's disguised as a gardener. Why is he disguised as a gardener? I say, because he's afraid of the Jews. Why is he afraid of the Jews? Because I say he didn't die and he didn't conquer death. Because if he had died and if he had conquered death, there's no need to be afraid anymore. Why not? Because the resurrected bodies can't die twice. Who says so? I said, the Bible. What does it say? It says it is ordained unto all men once to die, and after that the judgment. You can't die twice. So she, supposing him to be the gardener, says, "Sir, if you have taken him hence, tell me, where have you laid him? To rest, to relax, to recuperate, so that I might take him away." One woman carrying away a corpse. Can you imagine? A frail Jewess, like a super American woman, the super women's type of woman, carrying him like a bundle of straw and taking where? Bury him. I said, who dug the grave? If there was a grave, carrying is one thing, but burying means she has to dump him in a hole. Does it make sense? No. So she's supposing him to the gardener, says, "Sir, if you have taken him hence, tell me, where have you laid him? To rest, to relax, to recuperate, so that I might take him away." The joke has gone too far. So Jesus says, "Mary." The way he said, "Mary," she recognized that this is Jesus from this intonation. And she wanted to grab him, as the Jews would do, to pay respects. So he says, "Touch me not." I say, why not? Is he a bundle of electricity, a dynamo, that if she touches him, she'll get electrocuted? No. Then why not? I say, because it hurts. What other reason? It hurts. You go and grab a man who has been through an ordeal, as Brother Floyd described, the nails and flogging and all that, and you go and embrace him, you're going to kill him. So she says, Mary says, "Touch me not, for I am not yet ascended unto my Father." I am not yet ascended unto my Father. In the language of the Jew, in the idiom of the Jew, he's saying, I am not dead yet. Now, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, my brother Floyd Clark has been unjust to himself. See, I feel he was unjust to himself, because this format was made by me. I said, whoever speaks first gets 10 minutes in the end. The second speaker has 1 hour continuously. The choice is yours. You take the choice. Had he given me the choice of speaking first, he would have an opportunity of refuting each and every one of these. But now, I pity him. In 10 minutes now, what he's going to do? what he's going to disentangle, what has been entangled now, what has been proved, what is. So I pity my brother, good friend, I love him, but I says, now you have been, if you had asked for my advice, I would have told you, let me speak first. So you have an hour to refute me, and then I can rebut him if it was possible. But there is a verdict is required from each and every one that is here tonight. It is not a question of who is right and who is wrong. You can see where truth lies. What the Muslim says, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ, that they didn't kill him and they didn't crucify him. And crucify means to kill by hanging or impaling on the cross. And you say, whatever things happen, according to your records, he was not killed and he was not crucified. And the verdict is that if the Jews were in the dock for the murder of Jesus Christ, that they are not guilty. For attempted murder, yes, but not for murder. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil
alamin. Before I introduce Professor Floyd again for the 10 minutes, I'd like to make an appeal for both Muslim and Christian audience and say this: it may be useful and important to think, it may be useful to interact or have information or intellectual thinking, but it is just as important to manifest the noble and lofty teaching of both Christ and Muhammad, peace be upon them, in our own behaviors. So I would ask the Muslim audience never to interrupt Professor Floyd or inject anything from the floor as he presented his full piece in the beginning. And I would ask my Christian brethren to observe the same also during the question and answer period. Thank you. Professor Floyd.
I hope that you will accede to the request of our chairman. I really am embarrassed because there was no interruption whatever of my speaking, and I know most of the audience are not fully in accord with what I said. And I hope that you will give to Mr. Deedat the courtesy that you gave to me. As Brother Deedat was sharing with us his study of the Scriptures, I'm delighted that he's studying 1 Corinthians 15. Just praying that the light one day will break. There are 3 or 4 points. Now, I'm not here to debate. Mr. Deedat invited me to this program, and I was concurring with him. We're not here to do battle with one another, but this was his request. He said, we want to talk about the Bible. You do the best you can do, I'll do the best we can do, and then we'll leave it to God as to what happens. I believe that a wise choice. I appreciate the courtesy extended. I would invite my friend to further study. First of all, in the matter of reference to Mary touching Jesus, Brother Ahmad, you need to check back with your Greek. The word hapto, the word to touch used in that text, has one meaning in the active voice and another meaning in the middle. In the active, it means to touch, as Brother Ahmad was talking about, but in the middle, it means to cling. It is used in 1 Corinthians 7 of the embrace of people in a marriage relationship. Mary had grabbed him around the knees and was clinging to him to keep him. And Jesus said, you do not cling to me. I have not yet ascended unto my Father. I am fully in accord